There we go. So it looks like we're going to be seeing our first semifinal match is going to be consisting of the Golgari Rock versus our blue-white spirits here, guys. So let me do a quick rundown for those that don't remember how things are working out with the list, but it is kind of more consistent with a lot of our rock-based strategies, right? You're going to have that kind of nice mix of removal spells. You're going to be having also some kind of disruption spells with those hand disruptions, as well as kind of some powerful creatures to kind of back it up. That kind of normal mid-rangey style. Let's kind of grind. I like playing that sort of grindy game because my creatures just kind of gain value later on the longer this game goes. Lyle, we saw, he has kind of got the evasive power, but he's got the little bit of taxing, which can be beneficial when you're playing against a deck that has a lot of non-creature spells. So Thalia, Garden of Thraben will be beneficial. Deputy of Detention can become beneficial depending on how removal has to get spent, how disruption is kind of piloted throughout this match. But it should be an exciting one. Blue-white spirits versus Golgari Rock. Lyle is our second seed, so he does get to be on the play for this match. Alright, so looks like Matt is feeling pretty happy with his hand. Lyle not as happy with his, so we're going to be jumping into a 6-card hand, hoping to find something a little bit better here. So we do have 2 creature-based strategies left in the semifinals, one on each side. Lyle's rocking out that blue-white spirits. TJ is rocking out the power of the Experimental Frenzy Affinity. We've got a mid-range strategy with our Golgari Rock. We've also got kind of that Tron strategy over there with Lucas. So we'll have to see how things work out in both rounds. Does the kind of grindier decks have the power against the faster, kind of lower to the ground strats? And we did get to see the grind of both creature decks. Worship pretty powerful, but already disruption going to be used here. Let's take a gander at the hand. We see a Mutavault, a Path to Exile, looks like Spell Queller, Selfless Spirit, and a Rattle Chains rocking out in Lyle's hand. So a big part is, okay, how do I want to respond to this? Do I care about you essentially countering stuff? Do I care about you being able to have creatures with flash? Like, does the Selfless Spirit giving your guys kind of that protection, is that where I need to be going? Am I just a threat heavy hand? Do I need to get rid of your removal spells? Like, how do I need to pick apart this hand? And he says, well, a lot of your hand is kind of set up with this kind of progression, right? Having this Rattle Chains, that is a kind of good way to get rid of things, and now you have just kind of one creature that you can play on turn 2 if you do not get a land. Oh, okay. So Lyle said he bottomed his 3rd land on the Scry. So there's the push coming down. We're going to get rid of that Selfless Spirit. What's nice about this Golgari and this 2-color deck is it's another strategy where you don't have to take extra damage from your lands compared to like a 3-color list. So there's the 3rd land for Lyle, and he can kind of sit back if he wants, knowing that he does have a way to kind of essentially counter a spell in his hand. But opts for the captain here. Says, you know what? I'm not getting anywhere by just sitting back and being reactionary. I need to get out on the board and try to make something happen. So the question is, how does Matt want to go this turn around? Does he start picking apart the hand again, or does he kind of try to get that off the board? And he goes for the pick apart here. Says, let's do another Inquisition. Get rid of that Spell Queller. You're left with a path only. Now Matt's going to start fetching up. Probably just going to drop down to 19 there. He does have access to a lot more basics in this list. And yep, we do see the Forest. Seems like a good time for Abrupt Decay. And Matt did know all the cards in his hand, like Eminem is saying in chat. So he did have a lot of options, but looks like he wanted to kind of just do some extra stripping away and saving his Lily. So Mutavault's going to come in, push for 2 points of damage. So now Lily's going to come out, knowing that, hey, I don't have to worry about sacking a creature. I can uptick. We're going to both discard a card, and now the kind of coast is clear for her to stick around for a little bit longer, because now you have to decide, do I start targeting Lily with my Mutavault, or do I push damage here? Lyle also has that Moonland Haunt there as one of his other lands, which allows him to be able to get more spirits, so he can be able to exile some of his creatures from his graveyard. Moorland Haunt, not Moonland Haunt, Moorland. Oh, so we're going for the captain again. So basically trying to say, hey, do you have another removal spell? Are you going to waste sacking your Lily, essentially, making me, have to edict a creature away so I kill it with a Mutavault? But with a Scooze, that can get a little bit dicey, because if Mutavault comes in, Scooze can just block and kill it. Alright, Matt's going to be fetching down to 16. So there's some discussion in chat, and we don't have the audio, so I don't know if Matt was making indication that he was going to uptick, if he was going to -2, how he was going to do it, but you see him fiddling with the dice like he was going to make Lyle sack, and he was ready to kind of activate the Mutavault, and you saw him kind of do that reach for it, which allowed Matt to sort of read the situation, change his mind, and go for the uptick, start eating creatures with Scooze now. But, I don't know how clear communication. Was Matt saying, I'm going to uptick? Was he saying, I'm going to -2? Was he just sitting there playing with the dice, trying to kind of get some extra information? Who knows? Real Eminem's like, to be fair, he pen tricked you. Which, those videos are so good when you see some of those old school Magic players doing that. So Paul saying in chat, with Rise of Humans again, Jun became better than Rock. And in a way, yes, all right, it is a really powerful deck. But in this situation where we have a top 8, all right, you know that if there is going to be humans, there's only going to be one human list running around. There you go. So Eminem is one of our players that is a judge. So he goes, hey, it sucks. It's a little unsavory. But if he never stated that he was going to go down, all right, then it is not an illegal play or anything like that. Ye old mind games. I mean, I'm one of the people that is all about kind of the straight up games. I'm not trying to scumbag people out of situations, but if you do something like that and your opponent kind of gives away information, all right, it's kind of like having a tell in poker, right? You can see the way somebody responds or reacts to certain situations to kind of glean extra information. It sucks, but that's kind of how it goes. So Thalia can mess with things a little bit on what Matt is trying to do here, because he might have access to other such spells that could adjust the way that he plays things. But Field of Ruin is here, and that can kind of put a stop to that Mutavault. We'll see an uptick again from Lily. So we did get to see it take place anyway. Hey, let's try to edict, get rid of a creature. And he goes, all right, I'll just activate this Mutavault and sack it. So that could have been a situation where you Field of Ruin, get rid of the Mutavault so he doesn't have a chance to do that, and you can sack and have him lose another creature that way. But this is 6 points of damage coming across here. So Lily's going to be dying next turn, but there's still a 6/6 Scavenging Ooze that's out that you have to be aware of. I really needed that path from the opening hand. Yeah, that definitely would help in this situation. Or even one of his Deputy of Detentions here kind of helping a little bit. So Lily's going to die. 2 points of damage coming across. Selfless Spirit comes out next. Oh, Kalitas. Some lifelink action going. Works really well when you're just kind of chucking removal. Get some zombies. So here's 6 more damage. Dropping Lyle down to 8. All right, so we already got people posting up in chat. Lyle double checking the wording of it. So this 3/4 lifelink, if a non-token creature would die, so instead of it just going to the graveyard, it gets exiled instead, and you create a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto your side of the battlefield there, at least the controller of Kalitas. Now, you may sack another vampire or zombie and put 2/1 counters on Kalitas. I think the whole new mulligan rule is also deck dependent. You know, you are at a slight disadvantage in that regard, but you could mulligan down and say, oh, okay, this hand is an amazing 6 cards, and then I have one like super high cost thing, or I have one too many lands, so just throwing that to the bottom seems like a great way to kind of streamline my hand a little bit more. But I'm also looking at it from a perspective of kind of faster paced decks. I don't know, even like a Tron deck, right? Having that ability to just be like, oh, I have all 3 Tron pieces in my hand from me being able to do an extra mulligan, or have the ability to get Tron on turn 3 by this extra mulligan. Alright, so here's 6 points of damage coming in again. Let's jump in the way here, he says. There's the shrug. Go to damage. I'd like to exile that and make a dude man. Here's a 2/2 black zombie. Thoughtseize. Let's see what you got, he says. Bringing the team. 6/6, 3/4, 2/2. Let's block that. Let's block that. Sack. So now it's like, hey, do I care about sacking this? And he's like, yeah, actually, I think I do. I'm going to pay 3 life. We'll put 2 extra counters on it. So for sure, I'm going to deal 5 damage to you. You'll drop to 3. I'm going to gain 5, be at 21. And I replace my token because you had to sack a creature. Ooh, there we go. Deputy of Detention coming in, gonna get rid of that Kalitas, leaving just the 6/6 Scavenging Ooze and the 2/2 zombie over there. Still a lot to have to deal with. Alright, we're in the tank. Trying to think of the best way to navigate here. Looks like there was a treetop village as well, but it says, okay, let's bring the team. And let's just kind of block like so. Boom, boom. Keep myself alive. You lose your token. Cool. Treetop village. Let's eat that. I'll go to 22. Make my scoos bigger. Pass turn right there. Nothing really happening. Let's see what you're hiding, he says. Path to exile looks like. Get that out of there. Says, I got land. You may find a land, though. Treetop, though, is going to make things tough. Block here. I'll go to 1. This guy dies. You get your friend back. And let's go to game number 2, he says. Not able to find an answer. Make him have it. Game 1. Our Golgari Rock player takes the victory here. So let's talk sideboards. So let's talk Matt first, since he was the winner of game 1. That's how we did it in at least round 1. So we'll do it again this way. Matt is rocking out 2 Life Goes On, which, for those that don't know the card, because I had to look it up, it's a 1-cost green instant. You gain 4 life. If a creature died this turn, you gain 8 life instead. Seems pretty good. He's rocking out Nissa. I think that's the Vital Force. Kitchen Finks, 1 Garruk Relentless, 1 Engineered Explosive, 1 Nihil Spellbomb, 1 Maelstrom Pulse, 4 Fulminator Mage, 1 Duress, and 2 Surgical Extraction. Hey, have you noticed the theme that everybody's running Surgical Extraction? But really here it's like, I would like Maelstrom Pulse, I'd like Engineered Explosives. You can kind of go with some of the Planeswalkers and add some extra Planeswalker action there. Garruk Relentless is a pretty sweet one to kind of start playing around with. Vital Force, I can't remember off the top of my head. From Kaladesh. Oh, untap target land you control until your next turn. It becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still land. -3. Return target permanent card from your graveyard. -6. Whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, you can draw a card with an emblem. Seems like a good one. Okay, so hopping over to Lyle, who's doing his best to try to navigate through this particular matchup. He's rocking out 2 Auroch Champions, 1 Phyrexian Revoker, 1 Remorseful Cleric, 1 Deputy of Detention there. We also get to see the 1 Geist of St. Traff, 1 Path to Exile, 1 Surgical, 1 Disdainful Stroke, 2 Hurkyled, 1 Unified Will, 2 Dampening Sphere, and 1 Worship here. So this is another one where you're like, hey, I've got a lot of one-ofs. I've got this nice variety of sideboard to deal with a lot of different matchups. Yes, I can bring in some extra stuff to kind of help me in these sort of positions here, right? I've got access to like more Path to Exile. He can try the Deputy of Detention as well, but it's tough with the amount of removal. Even like Auroch Champion, which, hey, you get some life gain, it's got protection from black and from red. Most of the creatures that Matt's playing are green creatures, so even then it's like, I guess I gained some life, I guess he doesn't die to removal, but it's not going to feel good when you've got all these big green creatures hitting me in the face. Worship is a maybe, to try to help out a little bit, but Matt's got a lot more ways to remove it, right? He's got like the Maelstrom Pulse. He does have access to the new version of Abrupt Decay. What's it called? Assassin's Trophy. There you go. Math words. Yeah, he's also got all those disruption to kind of strip away expensive cards that Lyle might try to hold on to and kind of mess with him in that regard. So it's going to be a much tougher and uphill battle for Lyle to try to kind of navigate his way through this matchup. And this is one where Matt was hoping to play against these kind of creature strategies where he's got a heavy amount of removal, where he's got a good amount of disruption. And Lyle was like hoping that he kind of could dodge this in the semifinals. All right. Both players getting ready to go. We're going to jump in. To game number 2 here. All right, so here's our goal for tonight, guys. We need to get 10 people in chat talking. 10 different people chatting at the same time, and then we get to unlock some VIP badges for the stream. So that's our goal for tonight in Season 10, is to unlock our VIP badges. We got 16 viewers. We just need 10 of you guys to start chatting. All right, Mausoleum Wanderer getting things started out here. We do see Inquisition going to get used here for Matt. Is he going down all the way? He is 17 here. So we do see Seachrome Coast, Plains, Island, Selfless Spirit, Drug Skull Captain. Yeah, Assassin's Trophy is a really nice card because you just kill anything. I can kill lands. I can kill Planeswalkers. I can kill enchantments, artifacts, creatures. The only thing I can't kill is emblems. But that's alright. We don't need no stinking badges. No, but I would be cool to be able to distinguish all of our season champions with VIP badges. Or things like that, right? People that just help contribute a lot to the stream. Different things like that we can do to say, hey, you're a VIP. Even though you aren't a subscriber, or you're not whatever, you can still have that VIP badge kind of thing. So that's our goal. All right, so Mausoleum Wanderer going to come push for some damage. Let's poke you up to 16, he says. Selfless Spirit comes out. As well, actually, I lied. He gets buffed up. Whenever Spirit enters, you buff him up. I got a cool sword that I swing around. That's true. Them powers of mods. Thanks, Lyle, keeping me honest. Making sure that we have him listed at 15. And here's an Abrupt Decay. Gonna strip away, kill that guy off. Pass turn, poke for 2 more, drops Matt down to 13. Matt, in a way, he's like kind of on the back foot in how things are going, and it's just like, all right, I have to respond to your creatures, gotta respond. But the way this sort of mid-range deck works is it hits that turning point where your opponent runs out of gas, runs out of creatures, and then you just start kind of going in that value town and saying, well, hey, I've got something like this Tarmogoyf, which I hope that we use the dice to determine what his power and toughness is. I mean, there's a creature, there's a land, there's a sorcery, there's an instant. Hey, look at that! He's a 4/5. And here's 2 more coming across. And there's a Vial. That nice turn 4 Vial. That feels good. Alright, let's see how things go here. Assassin's Trophy, you look like you could use a land, he says. And pass. So he's keeping Goyf back on the defensive there. That way he can kind of block the Mutavault and kind of keep Lyle at bay for the time being and allow him to kind of follow up with some pressure later on. You see he was able to draw into that Treetop Village. He's just kind of full of removal spells. It looks like, yeah, I was going to say he has a Tireless Tracker here, which again just kind of gets into that value town because he says, hey, look, here's a Treetop. Let's get a clue. Just what I needed, more mana. So now that he's got the Tireless Tracker, you know, he's not going to necessarily want to push yet because he wants to start getting the value off all the clues. So all right, Vial tick up here. We got to see 4 points of damage. And oh my gosh, finally pushing back with some pressure here. But now Lyle can start to kind of apply some pressure as well and saying, okay, you're not going to want to block. So here's some more damage coming across. You're going to fall down to 9. But with the treetop, that's going to make things a little bit scarier in the amount of pressure. Here is a Thoughtseize. Act going to fall to 7. Lyle going to activate that. Say, hey, here's a Selfless Spirit. Looks like he's debating about just kind of picking that apart now. Maelstrom Pulse going to get used. Seven points of damage. Drops Lyle down to 9. So Lyle has more mana than he knows what to do with. More mana than the deck wants to see. I mean, he can activate his Mutavault, but it's just like, what good is that doing right now? Right? Like, okay, Mausoleum Wanderer, pretty helpful. Another blocker. Alright, let's get this clue action going. Ah, Commander, name's a lie. Commander is fun, but again, well, Commander can be kind of crazy too. But yeah, like Commander, it can be a lot of fun. That's the only format that my wife plays. She won't play Modern with me. Won't play any other formats. She's just Commander only. All right, let's jump in the way. Well, I'm gonna take 4 points of damage. Drops down to 5. Matt's at 7, though. So Lyle hoping to find something. Tell Holly she deserves better. Things are looking tough. The amount of pressure that Matt's got available. Let's clue it out, he says. Here's another Treetop Village. Getting another clue out, thanks to Tireless Tracker. Activate one of my Treetop Village. Kind of this go wide strat, bring the team. So Lyle has to hope that he can vial somebody in, have Mutavault activated, and hope there's no removal spell before blockers. Deputy of Detention wants to try to strip somebody away. Tireless Tracker is not a bad choice because of the fact that you can get rid of those counters that are on it. Goyf is pretty scary though. Alright. Treetop Village. Well, you know, that's kind of a 3-3. Something that you have to be worried about, but not as worried about as those bigger creatures, right? Goyf is the 4-5. Tireless Tracker right now is a 5-4. So, like, Tireless Tracker makes the most sense to be the one to target. Alright, so, activate. Alright. So, targeting this. Activating this before blockers. Alright, or are we going to blockers? Okay, here we go. Activated Mutavault before blocks. Here is my Assassin's Trophy to kill your Mutavault, I guess. Now, let's see. Looks like we're going to blocks. Block here. This dies. This comes back. So we did the double block action. Mutavault's still alive. Scooz is here. Passes turn. Lyle drops down to 1 life, though, after the Goyf swings for 4. But there's the hand. Not able to assemble anything else. And it looks like Matt saying, hey, I still had this Assassin's Trophy that I could have used in sort of this pre-blocking situation if I needed to. Ooh, Spirits, powerful deck, very quick, gets out there, but it is really tough to kind of battle through the amount of disruption, the amount of removal, and the way that sort of rock, the Golgari style of deck, can just sort of, hey, let's mid-range, grind it out, get this value going, and kind of profit. And still had all these. Just in case anybody was wondering. Look at these cards that I had still in my hand. So that is our first semifinal. That means Matt makes it to another top 8 Invitational Finals. So we've got one more semifinals to go. And let's see how things fare with another creature deck versus